So nearly half the people on earth will experience dandruff at least once in their life. If you're dealing with dandruff, you might be wondering, what causes it and how can I get rid of it for good? Are there any remedies that actually work so that dandruff doesn't come back? Stay tuned and I'll be sure to cover all of this. Also, real quick before we get started, it would mean the world to me if you hit the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and turn the bell on next to it to stay up to date with new weekly videos. Let's talk about what causes dandruff, otherwise known as pityriasis capitis. Dandruff itself is a scalp condition in which small pieces of dry skin flake off of the scalp. If you have dark hair or you're wearing dark colors, you may notice the flakes more apparent in your hair or on your shoulders. It can also make your scalp itchy as well, mainly because your body replaces old skin cells at an overly faster rate than normal. And it's important to know that there are 3 types of dandruff so you can get better at targeting the root cause. Knowing which one you have is going to be the first important tip. And the first type of dandruff is oily skin dandruff. When your sebaceous glands produce too much sebum, it can make your hair oily and the excess oil can clump together, causing dandruff. It's usually that stuff you see when you use your fingernail to scratch your scalp. You know what I'm talking about. And your flakes may look more yellow than white. There's also seborrheic dermatitis, which looks like this. It's a more severe form of oily skin dandruff and affects people who have oilier skin types. And you can differentiate it pretty quickly because in addition to getting flakes, you get these red scaly patches and they can be very itchy. It's most commonly found on the scalp, but can also appear on other oily areas like the nose and the ears. So that's the first type of dandruff. The second type is dry skin dandruff. Oily skin dandruff flakes tend to be larger than dry skin dandruff. You'll get them more often in the winter months as the cold weather and the indoor heating can dry out your skin and scalp. And the flakes will be small and white instead of yellow. So keep an eye out for which one you have. And lastly, the fungus-related dandruff or malassezia, which is naturally present on most scalps. But this yeast-like fungus can grow and cause an inflammatory reaction, which leads to dandruff that can also be itchy sometimes. Knowing what type of dandruff you have is going to really matter when it comes to getting rid of it and the next tips. And on that note, conditions like eczema, psoriasis, and allergic contact dermatitis from using bad hair products and shampoos can be mistaken for dandruff as well. So it's important to rule these out before trying any of these tips. Once you confirm you actually have dandruff, the good news is that it's entirely reversible, and I'll show you how. And links for all of these products will be listed in the description below. For the oily skin dandruff, there are 3 things that you want to do. The first is getting yourself a scalp scrub, which helps eliminate excess oil through exfoliation. The one by Naturelab Tokyo is a good one since it contains no phthalates or sulfates and has an antioxidant-rich extract from grapes. I like this product. It's a 2-in-1 scalp scrub and shampoo, which will still help you maintain a healthy level of moisture as well. Make sure you massage it in thoroughly though. Secondly, you want to alternate this with a dandruff shampoo with 3% salicylic acid. The T-Sal shampoo by Neutrogena is a great option as it's tried and tested and proven to help with that stubborn, greasy type of dandruff like the ones you get underneath your fingernails. You can also use it in seborrheic dermatitis as well and scalp psoriasis. And thirdly, a DIY solution recipe. Use apple cider vinegar and water in equal proportions and pour it over your hair after you have shampooed. You can even use it as a spray. Leave your hair as is for a couple of minutes and then wash it off with water afterwards. But if you have a sensitive scalp, then try adding more water than vinegar as a trick to get around that. Now let's move on for the dry skin dandruff. There's also 2 things that you can do. The first is try using a scalp treatment that has witch hazel, which has astringent properties that may soothe symptoms of your dry scalp. OGX has one that is infused with tea tree oil, and the best way to use it is right after cleansing. Go ahead and towel dry your hair, press the product tip directly to the scalp, and apply a small amount of it and work through the hair section by section while massaging the product into the scalp. Make sure you don't rinse it out. Secondly, you can use essential oils such as tea tree oil, but make sure to mix it with a carrier oil like coconut or olive oil and then massage it into your scalp. Leave it on for 10 minutes before washing out. But honestly, if you live near Trader Joe's, there's a shampoo called Tea Tree Tingle with peppermint and eucalyptus, and it doesn't have any sulfates actually. It's pretty mild, which helps too if you don't want to go the essential oil route. And lastly, the fungus type of dandruff. There are 3 methods, which for some will take some trial and error to get to the bottom of it. The first is, which I'm probably sure you've already heard of, your classic Head and Shoulders.
One of the first ingredients that I see is Pyrithione Zinc. This is one of the most common actives used in the cosmetic space to fight dandruff.
Stick with it for at least 28 days, which is a full skin cycle for most, to see if it's a good fit before moving on to the next one. If it does start working, stick with it, as your results will come on very soon. The second method is selenium sulfide shampoos like Selsun Blue. But if you have lighter or even chemically colored hair, just know that it can cause discoloration, which if that's the case, I would skip it and go with the third, which is your ketoconazole shampoo, being Nizoral.
Did you know fungus can cause dandruff? Use Nizoral. It kills the fungus that causes dandruff.
If one type of shampoo works for a time and then seems to lose its effectiveness, try alternating between the 2 types of dandruff shampoos. Once your dandruff is under control, try using the medicated shampoo less frequently and just for maintenance and prevention. And in the meantime, as you experiment within those 28 days, yes, you can get your results even sooner, and for some it could take longer. You want to change some lifestyle habits along the way to help speed this process up. One being eating more fruits, as this cross-sectional study identified a link between diet and seborrheic dermatitis. In conclusion, a high intake of fruit was associated with lower odds of seborrheic dermatitis. So yes, diet matters. Secondly, get a water softener for your shower, as hard water contains high levels of minerals like calcium and magnesium, which build up on your hair and scalp over time.
United States Geological Survey classifies soft water as anything with less than 61 milligrams of calcium carbonate per liter. Above that is moderately hard water, then hard water, and very hard water. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, almost 75% of U.S. homes have water that is at least moderately hard.
This creates a layer of residue that you don't want, especially if you're trying out all of these products. And thirdly, try limiting your hairstyling products just until you can get to the bottom of this. But I'm more curious to hear from you guys though. Do you know of any other solutions that work for dandruff? Leave them in the comments below, and until then guys, I'll see you on the next one.